Hello, in today's video, I'm going to show you how to care for and clean your Phonak receiver in the canal hearing system. Receiver in the canal is just a standard acronym, RIC. These guys would sit behind your ear, and then the tips there would have these sorts of buds on the end of them. No matter your style of bud, the cleaning procedure is going to be the same. We have a vented, an open, and a power. So most of the time, this bud in the center is commonly dispensed more than any of the other ones. But like I said, no matter what style bud you have, earpiece you have, it's going to be the same unless it's a custom bud that looks like this. This is called a seashell. If you have this kind, stay tuned. I will show you how to clean this one as well. It is very simple. Moving forward though, I'm gonna take these two buds out just to kind of give you a better, for demonstrative purposes. This middle one, it definitely is a lot easier to see on camera. Obviously we have two hearing aids here. One is red, one is blue. Red is right, blue is left. Of course, you already probably know that. So I'm gonna take the right one out and I'm just gonna use the left one for today's video. First and foremost, the way that this bud goes on is very simple. We're going to go ahead and just pick this up. And the way that it goes on is you're just going to line this up here, give it a push. And as you can see, it just butts right up to that little blue piece here. This end piece where the blue is, this is called a receiver. So the receiver goes flush with the bud there, kind of butts up there. This is just a friction fit. So this tip piece is the piece that goes into your ear. Most problems that people have, they'll wake up in the morning and put them in and realize, my hearing aid's not working. 99% of the time it's earwax in the earbuds. You just want to go ahead and clean that out. It's very simple to do. There's a couple ways that you can do it. The most common way is just to use your cleaning tool. Your cleaning tool is going to be housed in your charger case, but you also have an additional cleaning tool inside of your hard case that comes with the whole hearing system. This one has a nice little handle, can be easy to use, otherwise they're both the same. So get that one out of the way. And then like I said, in the top of your charging system here, we have our cleaning tool. We'll go ahead and grab that, and that's what we're going to use. So with the cleaning tool, what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab the unit. First of all, I want you to visually inspect if there is any wax in there. A couple ways that you can do that is to look into the holes where the sound's going to come out. The holes are off to the side. There's two holes and it's a pass-through. So we have one right there and then one right on the other side. And then just to double check to see if there's no wax on the inside, we're gonna go ahead and pull this apart. You're just going to, what we like to say, pinch and pull. Comes right off of this little lip type fitting. So we'll get this out of the way. And then I'm just gonna take a visual inspection of this guy. Make sure that there's nothing down into this little fitting. And if there is, we can brush it out that way. What we'll do is, if you do see anything in there, it's simple. Come in through the back side and give it a nice little twist up. And you can see it goes all the way through. We'll push this all the way down just for extra measure and then come back down and it's off. These things are small, so be careful not to lose them. We'll go ahead and grab this guy and we'll put it right back onto the end of the unit. Another way to do it is just to leave the bud on. Use your cleaning tool to come in through the holes at the tip. So I'll line this up here, give it a little roll, and push it all the way through, all the way back. Now, if you have hardened wax in there, it's going to be a little bit more difficult to get it with this little pipe cleaner type tool. So you can actually pull this apart, and there's actually a little, kind of like a poker tool. This kind of gives a better definition to where the holes are. If you just slide it in there, you can break loose any debris that's in there. So typically that'll get all the wax out of there. And then you can come through with a little tissue or some sort of dry cloth. Don't use any abrasive chemicals on the hearing system or on the hearing aids themselves. We're just going to kind of dab this guy and kind of wipe it clean. Now, if that didn't solve the problem, what we're going to do is we're going to check the filter, the speaker, this little blue piece, and on the right ear it's going to be red. does have a wax guard in it. It's a little filter that stops wax from getting far deep down into the speaker and degrading it. So we'll go ahead and pull this off, pinch and pull, very easy to come off. And we'll look right into the tip there. In the tip, you should see white. If you see wax or brown color, most likely it's clogged up and it just needs to be taken out and replaced. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab our Sarah Shield discs. Keep in mind, we do not dispense these to every single patient. So if you need one of these, just give us a call. You know our number, and I'll give it to you at the end as well. If you need one of these, we can send it out in the mail. It's included, so it doesn't cost you anything. So like I said, we'll go ahead and open this guy up. And we see our disc is here, and we have directions inside of the actual paper that it's packaged in. Looking at the disc itself, we can see a couple things. Number one, we see a trash can. That's going to discard the old filter. Number two is going to have our replacement filter ready to go. We see these ribs on the side. That is where our fingers are going to go to twist this guy. We're going to twist it clockwise, the way that the arrows are going. So we'll give it a twist. And as you can see, number one is empty, number two has our replacement. So number one is naturally going to be where we're going to discard the old filter. So we'll get the bud out of the way, get the cleaning tool out of the way. Looking at the filter, like I said, let's just pretend that there's wax in there. Sound can't travel through wax, so we want to make sure that we get this out. What we're going to do is we're going to leave this on the table. It just makes it a little bit easier, and I'm going to use this as leverage. I'm going to push down and then pull up. You can see the old one is out of there. The old one is in the discard pile. So now we're empty. Make sure that there's no more contaminants in there. We can see this one's nice and clear. Now we're going to go to number two and push down and pull up. Our replacement one is now in there. It's as easy as 1, 2. That usually solves the issue. Now you can put this back into your ear after getting the bud back on. I'll get rid of this. We'll put the bud back on and give it a test out. So we'll put this bud right back on, and just want to make sure it's fully on. You can see it's budded up there. You can usually tell if it's not on. There'll be a gap in between here, or when you take your finger away, it'll just fall. So we want to make sure that it's completely on. We don't want earbuds falling into your ears. So now we'll put this back in and see if it works. 9 times out of 10, it will. If you're still having an issue, please don't hesitate to call us. We want to make sure we solve that problem for you. Now, extra care for this guy, we'll move back to the unit itself. As you can see, on the back side of this unit, we have 1, 2, and 3 little ports there. Those are the microphones. That's what's bringing in the sound. Every now and again, I would say when you change your buds, you're going to be changing your buds every 6 or so months. Whenever you need more, you just let us know. You should have a supply of 4 initially following the appointment. Every so often, you want to brush these little ports out to make sure that there's no contaminants in there. Usually skin, dust, hair, any one of those guys can kind of make the sound quality seem like it's a little bit lower in volume. So we're going to, again, grab the cleaning tool and we're going to brush out these little ports, just like so. We'll give it a little brush like that. That'll get a lot of it out. We'll move up to this one here. Same thing, kind of give it a little brush out and then give it a little brush out there. Just making sure that there's nothing stuck in there. Now, we also want to make positive to brush these little contacts here. These little contact points go into our charger, and that's what charges your system. So naturally, we want to make sure that there's no buildup of any residue or anything like that on those guys. So we'll brush those off. And every time that you clean your bud, a lot of times you'll want to come by and you'll want to use a nice little cloth, a dry cloth. Again, you can use a microfiber, you can use a dry Kleenex like I am now, or anything that you have on hand. We're just going to wipe this guy down. Again, don't use any abrasive chemicals. On the shell here, it can rub off over time if you're using alcohol, like isopropyl alcohol. You definitely don't want to use any sort of household cleaners or anything like that. So we'll go ahead and grab it, and we'll give it a nice little brush here and kind of wipe it down to get all the oil and dirt off of it. You can also wipe your wire here if you'd like as well, just to keep it nice and clean. Now, moving on to, that's how you clean with the bud on. Like I said, all the other styles, whether you have this dome or this dome, it's going to be virtually the same. I only use this one because it's just easier to demonstrate. So moving on to the other style of earpiece that you would have, it's going to be this guy here. This is known as a seashell. This is custom made, of course. You'll know the difference when you get it. This isn't most commonly dispensed, but for those people that do have these, I'll run you through how to clean these guys. It's very simple. What we'll do is we're going to start off with cleaning the actual earpiece itself. On this one, you can use an alcohol swab like I'm going to use. You can use a piece of paper towel that has a little bit of isopropyl alcohol on it, not soaked, but just a little bit of dab onto it. So I'll go ahead and I'll open this guy up. And we're just going to wipe down the actual earpiece, not the hearing aid itself, but the earpiece that goes into the ear. We're going to wipe free all of the oil, all of the residue, the earwax, all that stuff that's built up on there. And this is done on an as-needed basis. So if you think that it's just not the sound quality isn't as crisp and clear as it was, most times it just needs a good cleaning. So I would check it at least every day to weekly to see if there's any wax in there. So we'll get this guy all cleaned up. Now, another place to look at here is the tip right here. Now, one thing to mention, it doesn't matter what color your earpiece is. Some have transparent and others have tan color like this. No matter what color, it all cleans the same. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to look in this little tip right there. In that tip, that's called a wax collector. It's actually formerly known as a Ceru stop. And that is used to kind of block the wax, kind of like the other receivers, before it gets into the actual earpiece. So if you see wax in there, even if it's just a little amount, you want to replace it. So we'll go ahead and grab our other package here. It's called a Ceru stop again. We'll open this one up, and of course there are directions in there, so you can follow those directions there. But we'll go ahead and we'll open this guy up, and you can see all these little black sticks. These are stick filters, very easy to replace. Again, these supplies are included, so when you need more, you just let us know. We'll mail them directly to you, or you can stop in. We'll grab one of these sticks here and close this guy up. We have one side that is going to be our picker, I like to say, that's going to take the old one out, the contaminated one out. On the other side, we have our replacement. So we'll grab onto this guy, give it a push downward into it with the picker side, and then just simply pull. Okay, we know that's nicely removed. We'll go ahead and turn it over and replace it. There we go. And for extra measure, I like to just push down with my finger just to make sure it's completely secure. That's how you do that. It's nice and clean now. What we'll do now is, if you can see, some of these holes right here are a little bit different than others. To clean this, we're going to go ahead and we're going to use our cleaning tool that's included in our case with our charger and our extra case. We have a little bit of a pick again right there, and we're going to use that to clean out this little hole right here. This is a vent. This lets a lot of the natural sound in and regulates the pressure coming in and out. So if it's small enough, we can go ahead and insert that in, and as you can see, it pops right through the other side. We're breaking loose all of the grime and crud that's in there, and then we're going to go ahead and just wipe that off. And then for extra measure, again, I like to come through the back side there, give it a push, and then we can see again it comes through the other side. We know that that's nice and clean at this point. Looking back at the instrument itself, again, you want to wipe out those ports and then wipe this down with a soft towel and wipe those contact points there. This is a custom seashell. This is applicable for any custom earpiece, whether it's a behind the ear like this one I'm demonstrating, or a completely in the canal half shell, something that's a little bit bigger than this. Whether the vent hole is a little bit bigger, you can just use the bristles for this cleaning tool or this little pick right here. So the filter change is the same for those ones. So no matter the actual application, the procedure is still the same with cleaning. Moving forward, if you have any issues going on, we want to know about it. So if you're having trouble cleaning, we have no problem. You can come in and get a free cleaning. If you have any issues continuing after you've cleaned them and you think that they're completely clear, please don't hesitate to call us. We're always here to help. Our local number is 219-229-1488. Our toll-free number, 800-509-1739. Again, we're always happy to help you. If you would like to get a hold of us, just if we don't answer, please leave us a message. We are most likely talking to other patients. I think that's good.